Hi guys, I am just going to do a quick update video today. It's not going to be very long. Sorry it's late this week. Last night I was not feeling good at all. Crystal and I usually stay up pretty late talking, especially Friday nights, and I think I went to bed at like 10:30 or 11, which I'm usually up till 1, 2 in the morning. I felt horrible. It was very nauseous. It was hard to describe the feeling. It felt like everything I ate yesterday was just sitting in my stomach. It wouldn't go up, it wouldn't go down. It felt like it was going to come up, but it wouldn't. And so I went to bed early. I didn't really get that great of sleep last night. I actually, then at around 2 o'clock in the morning, I started getting a really bad pain in my right side. So in the morning, once the kids were up, my husband dropped me off at the emergency room. He ended up taking my son to soccer. He took my daughter with, obviously. He took the kids to soccer, and then by the time they were done with that, I was done. In the ER, they checked to make sure my stomach looked okay, and it looked fine, and then they referred back to my endoscopy that I actually had on Tuesday, and I'll get to that after. And then they checked my pancreas, liver, gallbladder, and kidney all on my right side. And they said that my liver looks fine, my kidney looks fine, my pancreas looks fine. My gallbladder had a few little gallstones in it, but they didn't see anything that jumped out to them where it was showing like there was a gallstone in one of the ducts plugging it, which would have been causing the pain. So they sent me home. They gave me some anti-nausea meds. They gave me some pain meds and sent me home and said if I start vomiting, if I get a fever, what was the other one? If I get incredibly dehydrated, all to get back to the emergency room as soon as possible. The doctor thinks it might be a stomach bug I picked up somewhere, but isn't fully sure. And just kind of lay low this weekend and eat like blah type food, which I ended up having a taco after, so that really wasn't blah, but I ate it and I don't feel sick instantly like I did with all the food that I ate yesterday. And actually for about a week, anytime I ate, I would just start feeling nauseous, but it wasn't as bad as yesterday. Yesterday it was bad yesterday. So hopefully that's the end of that, and it's just, like he said, a virus, and it's run its course and it's almost over, and that's what I'm hoping and praying. The update on the endoscopy, because I know a few people have asked about that. Everything came back normal. The doctor said that I'm well controlled with the reflux meds that I'm on currently, and that he didn't see any issues caused by reflux. He didn't see, like, he goes, I don't see any forms of cancer in your esophagus, your stomach, or they also go into the first, I think he said, foot of your small intestines. And he goes, I didn't see any cancer, I didn't see any cancer concerns, I didn't see any ulcers, I didn't see anything that would be alarming to me. So he goes, looking at all of that, he goes, I say you are perfectly fine to have the weight loss surgery. So I was cleared by him to have surgery. So that was a huge positive. Other than that, that was my only update for the week. What else did, so after 2 weeks prior to surgery, I have to go on a liquid diet, or semi-liquid diet. I have to drink 2 protein shakes a day, and then I can eat 1 small meal at supper, or if I choose to do it at lunch instead of supper. But And then after surgery, I have to continue with these protein shakes, and that'll be a liquid diet post-surgery. Anyways, I have been hearing, or one of the things in my book was, I think it's called Premier Protein Shakes, which I've heard a lot of people in my online support groups talk about these shakes, and at Sam's Club have them. Well, I wanted to kind of taste them before I actually bought like a big case of them. And I was going to buy a case of them. You can buy like smaller cases at Walmart, but they're cheaper to buy the bigger cases at, obviously, Sam's Club. So I was going to, then I ended up putting them back, and good thing I did, because when I went over to their like cafe section after I checked out, they actually had where you could buy single cartons, like little cartons. They're like 11-ounce cartons of the shake. So I bought a vanilla and a chocolate, and I discovered I do not like the vanilla at all. The chocolate is really good. It tastes like chocolate milk to me. So I did like that. Well, I went back to buy more, and I decided to try Muscle Milk, which is also another one that was recommended. It has 5 grams less protein than Premier does, but it also is dairy free. So, or lactose free. I think it's lactose free, which is what I need because I'm lactose intolerant. So I actually grabbed a case of that, which was cheaper than the Premier. And so far, the couple that I've drank from that, I've really liked. I've decided to start drinking them for breakfast. I'm not a breakfast person. I don't eat breakfast. I've never ate breakfast. Okay, I shouldn't say never. I have to be up for a while before I eat breakfast. Like, people that know me, I can't get up and eat right away. If I do, I feel very nauseous, and my stomach, just nothing agrees with my stomach the rest of the day. I can drink stuff. I can drink milk. I can drink, if I was drinking soda, I could drink soda. I could drink water. I can drink anything in the morning that I like to drink, I should say, and I'll feel fine. So I've been drinking the shakes in the morning. So to kind of, since I'm supposed to be eating breakfast, when I saw the nutritionist, she kind of got on me about not eating breakfast. So that will hopefully work for me. An update on my dad. He's just been kind of tired and not lethargic, just kind of fatigued. He doesn't have any more of his chemo. He's done taking all his chemo pills currently. He sees his chemo doctor this coming week. I believe it's on Monday. And that's when they'll probably schedule the MRI and see about going from there, what the game plan is. So that's kind of the only update on my dad. And the other family update is, if you could say a prayer for my husband's grandfather. On Tuesday, when I went to get the endoscopy, my mother-in-law actually had to work, and she was going to take me, so her boyfriend went to the hospital and waited with me, which I am so thankful for. And it was actually kind of nice. She's been with him for 10 years. And like, I know him, I've talked to him before, but you know, just the two of us waiting in the waiting room. It was just the two of us. Well, there were other people, but like, we were able to have kind of a more one-on-one, I wouldn't necessarily intimate, but not in a sexual way, conversation where it was more than just what other people were around us were talking about. And you know, doing that, like, we kind of got to know each other a little bit better, which was really nice. And he's kind of a homebody, and he actually told me, he's like, you know, I haven't left the house in almost 2 months because my mother-in-law pretty much does everything for him. And he goes, you know, it was kind of nice to get out of the house. So, you know, that was a huge positive. Well, anyways, when she came to pick us up, because she dropped us off, and then went to work. And then when I was done, she came back, picked us up, dropped me off at home, dropped him off at home, and then went back to work. Well, she picked us up. She was telling us that her father, my husband's grandfather, he's in his 80s. He still drives. He lives at home, his own home, alone. And He does have a home health nurse come out a couple times a week to check on him, do his medications, you know, help him with what he needs to do around the house. And she took his blood pressure and pulse. Well, his blood pressure was high, but his pulse was in the 30s. And she thought, no, this can't be right. So she tried it again. Sure enough, it was in the 30s again. Then she used one of those, I don't even know where mine went. Those like little pulse oxygen meters. It's about like this long. You just put it on your finger and it'll read it. So she put that on him and it said the same thing. So she's like, you need to go to the emergency room now. Well, my mother-in-law couldn't take him because she was working, obviously. So her sister drove him to Waco to the emergency room, where he ended up getting admitted to the hospital because it was still low. And they were going to release him from the hospital on Wednesday, but I guess they decided not to. Or no, they did release him. Then he got home and his pulse dropped again. So he basically on Wednesday went right back to the hospital, got admitted again. And yesterday they put a pacemaker in. And was it yesterday? Thursday they put a pacemaker in. And he was supposed to come home Thursday. And my mother-in-law messaged us, oh no, he's going to come home tomorrow, but he's doing good. Yesterday she then posted and notified us. She texted me and she's like, Grandpa's still staying an extra day in the hospital. They just want to make sure. Well, this morning I woke up to a text, or I didn't wake up to a text, when I was in the emergency room. I got a text from her again saying that he is still in ICU actually. His blood pressure is bouncing between high and low, and his heart still isn't fully adjusted to the pacemaker. So he's currently still, he's in good spirits, but he just, anytime he tries to sit up, his blood pressure and everything drops. So he's still in the hospital, still in ICU. So hopefully he can come home soon. He's going to go stay with my mother-in-law and her boyfriend for the first week after he gets out of the hospital. That way, you know, the boyfriend's home all the time. So if my mother-in-law has to work or whatnot, her boyfriend will be home with my husband's grandfather. So if you have a spare prayer for him. Excuse me. We went up there on Tuesday after we found out that he was in the hospital. And then since we thought he was coming home, we were going to go see him today at my mother-in-law's house. But obviously me going to the emergency room and him still being in the hospital, that's not going to work. So our plan is, if he's still there tomorrow, we're going to go up to the hospital. Okay, the cat just jumped off the counter. We're planning on going up to the hospital to see him again tomorrow, if he's still in the hospital, as well as we've got passes to the Children's Museum there, and thought we could take the kids over there and let them run around. So that's it for this week. I have my 4-hour psych appointment on Monday. I have to do this big long evaluation, so I will give you guys an update next week on how that goes. So see everyone later. Bye.